Hello and welcome. My name is Angie Holden and I'm the blogger behind The Country Chic Cottage. Today we are going to talk about decorating balloons. So I'm going to decorate mylar balloons and I'm going to do it two different ways. So whether you just have a Cricut machine and you want to add vinyl to mylar balloons, or you want a printed version that uses white toner, you can use your white toner printer to decorate mylar balloons. So a couple different options depending on what you have in your craft room, and we're going to get into making those custom balloons for all of your celebrations. My example is just going to be a happy birthday balloon. However, you can use the same example for any balloon in any size. I just have the small ones just for convenience on the video. So let's dive into using both vinyl on balloons as well as white toner printing. If you want to add vinyl to mylar balloons, you will need vinyl, and I'm actually just using the Cricut Value Vinyl. Any vinyl will work, permanent or removable. Permanent may be best to stay on there a little bit better. However, removable would work as well. A weeding tool, transfer tape, and then something to cut your vinyl design. I'm going to use my Cricut machine to cut out Happy Birthday out of my vinyl. Now let's talk about design size just a little bit, and I've already cut this. I just have not weeded it yet, but you can see it's significantly smaller than my balloon. That is because after you blow it up, the design, this is the exact same size, but the design will appear to fill the whole balloon because you need to leave room on the sides for the balloon to puff up. So be sure to come in from the side significantly. So I would say if I was looking at this balloon, I made it about half the size of the widest point. And then when you blow it up, it will appear to fill the entire balloon. So do watch your sizing. So this is just adhesive vinyl, and I cut it on a Cricut machine. And then you'll just want to weed away all the excess. So that's everything from around the outside, as well as things like the centers of any letters. Now you could use this with any design. You could personalize it with a name. You just cut your design from vinyl. So I'm going to go ahead and weed this entire thing, and then we'll take a look at adding it to the balloon. Next, we'll want to apply this vinyl to the balloon. Now I like to apply it before the balloons are blown up. However, you could apply it afterwards. Now the transfer tape, even a regular grip transfer tape may be too sticky for the application to the balloon. So what I like to do is just take regular transfer tape and actually apply it to a cloth or even your shirt to make it a little less sticky. Once that transfer tape has picked up a little fuzz, then it's a little less sticky and will stick to your balloon a little less. Then you can start just using a scraper to burnish it down. Then just peel back the carrier sheet, leaving the vinyl and the transfer tape. Now you may have to pull it back straight on itself since we made the transfer tape a little less sticky. Then once you have your piece on your transfer tape, then we'll just locate it approximately in the center of the balloon. Then you'll just press it down slightly. And while I'm doing this, I like to hold up the corner of my transfer tape. So then we'll just carefully peel the transfer tape back. And because we made this less sticky, hopefully it will come off well off of the balloon. But you might have to like peel it straight back on itself and even burnish the vinyl a little bit more to get it to stick. However, I find the process not too tricky, and it's usually fairly quick to apply the vinyl. And then after that, you can burnish it down a little more, especially if you had any areas lift. And then you could just blow up your balloon, either with regular air or with helium. So here's an example balloon with vinyl on it. Now you could layer the vinyl for multicolor balloons. However, if you want something printed, I do have a version for you using a white toner printer that gets you a full color design that even includes white from a printer. So let's take a look at that option. First, you want to print with your white toner printer. Now you want to mirror your image and print using the RIP software that comes with your white toner printer. Now I have a full video on using and printing with a white toner printer, and I will link to that in the description below this video. I would fill your paper up with designs, especially in this case, so you can make multiple balloons. Once you have that printed sheet, we need to add the B paper. So the B paper is the adhesive. So we're going to place the paper that you printed on in the middle of the heat press with the print side facing up. Then place that B paper on top of the A cover with the baking paper that comes with the Forever Dark paper. And you can cut your B paper slightly smaller than the A so it does not get on your heat press. Then we're going to press 300 degrees Fahrenheit for 90 seconds, and you want about a medium pressure for this first step. Once that time is up, we're going to separate the B paper, so we're going to peel that back. And you don't want to remove it from the press during this time. So you want everything to stay warm during these steps. And you're going to peel that back in a slow, low, and fluid motion. Then you need to use scissors and cut around your design because there will be some excess adhesive around those outer edges where that B paper was. Then you're going to turn your heat press down. I'm going to use 210 degrees Fahrenheit for 10 seconds for these balloons. So you want to be sure to turn the heat press down and let it cool down to 210 degrees Fahrenheit. Now you do need to watch on these balloons and leave the portion that is for filling with air outside of the press. And you can usually see that it will be different on each balloon, but you can see where this piece that's going into the balloon, where it stops. So mine stops about right here. So I'm going to be sure that this bottom portion is hanging out of the press. You don't want to press in that area, otherwise you won't be able to actually fill your balloon up once the pressing process is complete. Then you'll just put that trimmed design onto the balloon. I went ahead and covered again with just the baking paper, and I pressed for just 10 seconds at 210 degrees Fahrenheit. That is literally all you need. Remove the balloon from the press and allow it to cool completely. You want it 100% cool. Once it is cooled completely, you're going to peel back that top sheet, and it's going to leave the printed portion on your balloon. Now this is very, very thin because it's just the ink and adhesive, and it does sort of embed in the balloon with the heat. So it is a perfect process for balloons. So this is what it looks like after I've peeled this back. And you may be able to see my carrier sheet sort of leaves a line around this outside edge. That is okay. I have found that you don't really notice it on the final balloon once you blow it up, so I would not worry about that at this stage. Now all that's left to do is to blow your balloon up. Now you can probably see a line here, and this is the part that was hanging outside of my press, and this is the part that was in my press. This part that was in my press is probably just slightly stuck together. It did not completely melt together. You can blow this up. However, you do want to blow it up a little slowly. So you can use a straw and put it up in here and put just a little bit of regular air in here in order to sort of release this area, like the front from the back. You want to release those two pieces before you would fill it up with helium. So I would just add a straw inside, blow just a little bit of air in here, and then we can remove the straw so the air doesn't come out, and just sort of move that air around just a little bit to start releasing the hold. So it is going to be stuck just a little bit to that backing. So if you want to use helium, be sure you get it at least started. So now it's started, everything is releasing, and now I could take this just like any other mylar balloon and add helium to here, or you can just fill it up with regular air with the straw. But you do want to just make sure to release that a little bit and make sure it's going to release front from the back. Then after you blow it up, it looks something like this. Now, like I said, this is very thin. It almost feels like part of the surface. It is a very professional looking finish and looks amazing. Again, you need to watch that design size. So the design looks a little small on this one that I haven't filled up completely yet. However, once I fill it up with air, all of a sudden the design itself looks like it fills the whole balloon. So be sure to leave room all around the sides with your design. And again, you can put any design you want on these. I do have this happy birthday design, as well as the happy birthday that I used for the vinyl balloon for free in the description below this video. So if you want to start with these designs, you can. So which one of these should you pick? So the vinyl, I'm going to say that one color is probably the easiest. You could layer the vinyl into a multicolor design. Would be a little more difficult, just that the balloon surface and the transfer tape don't really mix very well. You can see that I was able to get it, and it does take a little bit of trial and error, so the layering might be a little bit of a challenge, but I do think you could do it. So if you have a simple design, doesn't need to be printed, the vinyl works fine. And this vinyl on this balloon has been on there several days. It's not going anywhere, it's not peeling up, and it's doing really, really well. So whatever kind of vinyl you want to use, I think would work for making custom balloons. Now, if you have a more complicated design, tons of colors and that type of thing, some sort of printable will be the best. If you want something very professional, which is what I was looking for the other version of this, I would use something like this white toner printer. Now, why did I use the white toner printer in this case? It is because I could press it at that very low temperature, low time, in order to not completely melt and destroy this mylar balloon. So that is why the white toner printer would be my choice for a very professional, like thin design on your balloons. Could you use a printable sticker paper? Yes, maybe. I would probably choose the thinnest variety that you could find. Make sure your design stays pretty small like we talked about. Press it on really well and then blow it up. It might buckle around the edges just because of the thickness of the sticker paper. So you might have to play with some different sticker papers. If you're looking for to sell custom balloons, want something that is a very professional result for an event you're having, the white toner printer is the way I would go. So this is the way that I would choose for a professional looking result, professional looking custom balloon. I really love the way this turned out. Like I said in the video, you can't even tell this is even not part of the balloon. It just kind of sinks into the balloon surface and becomes part of it, which I absolutely love. So if you want professional results that you can sell with custom balloons, white toner printing is the way to go. Now I will link to a video on what is white toner printing, as well as a little bit more information about a white toner printer in the description below this video. So you can head there and check that out if this might be a direction you want to go in for yourself or your handmade business. Otherwise, if you have a Cricut machine, you do have options to decorate balloons as well. And I wanted to show kind of both of those in this video. So if you're just having one party, vinyl, it will probably do it for you. However, if you want to make custom balloons and sell them, white toner printing might be the way to go. So hopefully this helps you with some options on decorating balloons. If you have any questions, drop down in the comment section, ask away. If you liked this video and it helped you, give us a thumbs up. If you haven't already, head on over to our YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button. We have videos just like this one every single week, and trust me, you don't want to miss any of those. So thank you all so much for joining me, and I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.